Hello friends, how are you? This is Dr. SriNagi, Ayurveda medicine doctor and also Isha Hatha Yoga teacher. So today in this video we are going to talk about the most favorite breakfast, that is bread. Whenever I ask to people, like almost 70% people, whenever I ask them what are you eating in breakfast, so 70% says we are eating bread. Why? Because bread is very tasty and it is very light, and if we eat bread it does not make us fullness feeling, so that we have space to have our afternoon meals, and it is very quick and no need to put any effort in eating bread. You just open the packet, take the bread out and apply some cheese, butter, peanut butter, or anything, or anything whatever you want to paste over it, and even avocado toast or this avocado, this that, anything, or even healthy salad dressings, and we are just eating bread because it keeps our stomach very light. So let's discuss about this bread, whether this bread is a healthy option or not healthy option, what kind of bread we should eat, what kind of bread we should not eat, what are the ingredients of those bread, and what is the substitute of bread which can be eaten. So let's use Ayurveda concepts to understand whether bread is healthy or not healthy breakfast. First of all, we all understand from where is the origin of bread. I am not talking about Indian bread, but the normal bread with the name of bread which is famous in whole world, rectangular these or square pieces, or like whole, like one brick of bread. So just this way the bread is popular in all over the world, but the origin, the home place of bread is Europe. From Europe bread has travelled to many other places. It was staple food of Europe, but not the synthetic bread, the original bread. Original bread is made of flour, full grain flour, and yeast, salt and water. So only these simple ingredients were, and they were baking bread, home baked bread they were making in their big ovens, because in Europe the houses were designed in a way, if you visit Europe and if you see their traditional houses, so there, even in villages, means countrysides, where in the middle of the house there is a big oven, like very big, huge, just to keep their house warm, and under this oven there is a place to bake bread, because every day woman will get up or male will get up, whoever will get up, they will bake the bread morning or evening, whatever, but they have this baking system inside the home, which are made with mud and bricks, and they have iron lid, and in that they were putting and taking out the bread, and this they were eating. This kind of bread if you are eating, this bread is considered as very, very healthy, and it has yeast, so it is definitely good for stomach, and it is easily digestible because it has whole grain flour, and whole grain flour has a lot of fiber. So if somebody is eating this kind of bread, so this kind of bread is very, very healthy. But now what happened, because everything is commercializing, even in Europe, people are going to market, just in packets all the breads are there, you are buying bread, and that bread is surviving for 5 days, 6 days. But if you see these homegrown breads, they home baked breads, they don't survive more than 2 days or 3 days maximum, but 2 days, just like Indian breads, Indian chapatis. So 2 days, if you say if chapati is not fresh, so next day it will become little bad, and more next day it become more bad. So bread survive little more than that, because thick in our traditional Indian bread, if you say, or even mountain dishes, this they call it bhaturu. So they stays for 2 days, 2-3 days they stay. So similar is the recipe for bread. So bread also stays, the actual bread stays for 3 days, that's to homegrown bread. But now what is happening, one day bread is being made, packed in commercial purpose in the industries, and then 4-5 days its expiry is there, and then you also bringing it at home and just keeping it as home till it doesn't finish. But we are not seeing how the bread is surviving for so long, because it has a lot of preservatives. and how the bread is very tasty, sweet, or sometimes, so some people I have met, they said they have developed the addiction for the bread because they have sugar as an ingredient they are putting in bread just to make the bread taste very sweet, very delicious, and it gives more fulfillment in breakfast, because if you are taking coffee and if you are taking sweet bread, so it tastes very good, but it is not healthy breakfast. Even if you are in Europe, it is not considered healthy breakfast, but your traditional breads which you are baking and homemade breads in which only 4 ingredients are there, these breads with butter, cheese, anything you are eating, these breads are more healthy. Now comes to India. In India also there are variety of breads, just like Europe or western countries. Now in India also a lot of variety of breads. White bread, the most dangerous bread is white bread because it is made of white flour, and not of white flour, as we all know, it is very bad for intestine because the process with which white flour has been made, it is very fine flour, and the process with which white bread has been made, it is not very beneficial for your intestine. At the same time, we all know this maida, that is white flour, it is not healthy for your intestine. Once in a while if you are eating such kind of bread, it's fine, but if you are eating it daily, in daily breakfast, if you are eating this kind of bread, so it is not at all healthy. One thing, it has very less nutritious value, it contains a lot of sugar content just to make it tasty and delicious and sweet. They are using sweeteners, which is also not very beneficial in the morning. No doubt it will taste very well with coffee and tea in the morning and give you very happiness for your tongue and for your mind, but it is not healthy for your body at all. It does not matter you make avocado toast or you are using the healthy dressing on the bread, but you need to see what kind of bread you are choosing. It is very, very important that if you are choosing bread, either please see its ingredients, what kind of ingredients it has. Does it has a lot of fiber? Does it contains colors, like many times brown bread is coming. So people thinking brown bread is very whole grain flour bread, but if you see its ingredients, it has also maida, and maida means white flour, and it has brown color dye, means ingredient, the coloring agent which they melt sugar to certain level, and then it becomes into brown, and that color has been put on this brown bread. So brown bread, actually it is not brown bread. Maybe the idea of brown bread was like whole grain flour bread. Maybe the initial, when the name brown bread has been started, maybe the concept was to use whole grain flour, but in the market, both for commercial purpose, what is happening, it is not at all brown bread. It is, if you see its ingredients, it has also white flour and some coloring agent, maybe edible color, but though it is coloring, it's not its natural color which a whole grain bread, if you will prepare at home, if you know how to bake bread, if you ever baking bread at home, you will see the color of the bread is very brownish, and if you see the texture of the bread, that will be rough. If it would be homemade bread, the texture of the bread, the natural texture of the bread will be little on the rougher side, it will not look very beautiful. But if you see market bread, they are so looking good, so like beautiful food it looks like, and very attractive, it looks very perfectly cut into pieces just to show people like it is high quality bread, like it is very perfectly cut means it is very high quality bread, but this is not true. It is not necessary if some bread is cut very well, that means it is very healthy and very high quality bread. It is not necessary. You need to go through the ingredients, you know, and you need to go through its recipe, you need to see whether it is from trustworthy source or no. So the question comes whether bread is healthy to eat such kind of bread. No, according to Ayurveda principles, if you see, even it does not come under the principle of freshly cooked food, it is not come under the principle of like white flour is not good for health, so white flour also, and it contains artificial sugar. So according to even healthy principles, if you go through traditional principles, in that also bread does not fit. But yes, that bread which is made with yeast, salt, water and whole grain flour, this kind of bread if you are baking, this bread is more healthy. you must be thinking like baking is very difficult, but if you love bread you will learn baking also. Why? Because taste is good, but at the same time health is also very important, and this kind of bread is very healthy and very tasty. You can eat it with avocado, though it is not in Ayurveda principles, because in Ayurveda principles you need to eat fruit first and then anything cooked. But if you are anyway using some dressing, you can use bread with avocado or butter or cheese, anything whatever you are using as a dressing, but make sure the bread that you are using, it should be homemade, home baked. Or if you still don't have time to bake the bread, then you search some bakery. Definitely in Europe and in India there will be many bakeries who are willing to make whole grain flour bread. It is just, it should be demand in the public. There should be demand from the people, like, okay, we want whole grain bread, can you make with these ingredients? So definitely some bakery will start baking like this, and if you get to know like this bakery is baking bread like this and if it is in demand, so definitely you can buy that bread from this kind of bakery and fresh, and then you can enjoy the bread in your breakfast if the bread is of this kind. Another substitute of bread is Indian bread, Indian roti. It's very simple to make, and you can also learn how to make Indian roti. That is also kind of bread. So you can also enjoy the how to make roti or like Indian bread, which is called chapati. That is also one of the healthier option, better than this synthetic market bread. So there are two options: either you switch to Indian bread, or that's two from good ingredients, and or you can buy from some trustworthy bakery who are using proper ingredients. So that's all about bread. So I hope you will pay attention to it, and many people have asked this question to me, like whether we should eat bread, we should not eat bread, why don't you make video about it? So I try to put information in this video which I am telling people during my consultations. So I hope this video will help you to understand the bread thing. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're watching me for the first time, there is a bell icon, there is a subscription button. Please click the bell icon, hit the subscription button so that you stay in tune with our upcoming videos. Also, if you would like to support us, there is a join button near subscription button. You can click this join button and you can support us. Those of you who want Ayurveda consultations, please write to me on this given email ID and I will let you know how we can schedule it. If you have any questions, please write down those questions in the comment section. I will try to answer your questions in the best possible way. So with this note, I would like to say stay healthy, stay blessed, take care. Bye.